YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with another 7-round NFL mock draft. This one is for the Cleveland Browns, who no longer have a first-round pick. But, after evaluating the Browns, and it's pretty obvious they don't have a bunch of huge needs or anything. They got some things to fill out here, but they can easily do it with the picks they have. So they're sitting pretty there for now with that after that Odell Beckham trade, signing Sheldon Richardson. So Browns have done a good job. Right before we get started with this mock, check out our Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, links for all those in the description. Constantly posting on every single one of those, so check them out. And on to the Browns. First pick is in the second round, and I really like Juan Thornhill for them. I really like him. He former corner, so he has the ability to play corner, but he is a safety, and he could be a box safety. He can be whatever you want back there, somewhere in the secondary. Seen him line up in the box, play very well there. Seen him cover man downfield. Seen him cover in zone at the traditional safety position. So him with Demarius Randall makes a lot of sense. I think this is a good Jabril Peppers replacement. He may even have more upside than Jabril Peppers. Flies around the field. Like I said, former corner. You can kind of see that in him too. So can do multiple different things here. I really like him as a Jabril Peppers replacement, and that's why I have him going there. And they don't really need too many starters, the Browns, but they could definitely use another starting safety since they lost Peppers. And here you go with Thornhill. Next pick went with Amani Oruwariye from Penn State. He could possibly go second round. This is best case scenario here, but realistic at the same time. Physical corner, had a very good season. There's a pretty good group of corners. There's no elite corners, but then there's a pretty good bunch of them in that late first to early third, and Amani's one of those guys. He's very impressive. Liked his combine workout, and he just seems to be going up boards at this point. So they don't really need a starting corner right away because they have Denzel Ward and Carey, but they could slide Carey into that nickel spot, and then so they could really use the starting outside corner. But you need more corners than that to be able to contribute. So bring him in there. He could play right away for you if you need him to. Next pick, Austin Bryant in the fourth round here. He's not getting enough love. He's kind of been slept on just because, that whole defense line of Clemson is in the draft and all the other ones are first rounder. Just because he's not as good as those guys doesn't mean he's not good. I think he'd be a very good fourth round pick. He's a good 4-3 end for the Browns here. And, they have two starters at the end position, but there's rumors that they could be trading Ugba. So there really can't, even if they don't trade him, there really can't be too much of a future between Ugba and the Browns. So you definitely need a rotation at your defensive end spot, at pass rush spot. So Austin Bryant makes a lot of sense in that defense. And pretty much same thing applies to Bobby Evans. He's kind of sliding down boards, getting a lot of fifth-round talk, could possibly go fourth round. And that whole Oklahoma offense line pretty much is in the draft. And, just because he's not Cody Ford doesn't mean he's not good. He was their left tackle, and the Browns don't need starter for this position either, but Greg Robinson signed a 1-year deal, so they could use a guy for the near future, very near future. So they definitely need to take a tackle here around this range, and I think you can get a steal with Bobby Evans in the 5th round. Next pick is Daniel Weiss, the Kansas defensive tackle. Here's depth at the spot. You filled it out with the last starting spot in your 4-3 defense with Sheldon Richardson. Weiss, didn't have the best combine, and I was starting to drop him down because of it, but you go back to the tape, and he was pretty darn dominant at Kansas, Not too many dominant Big 12 defenders, really. So Daniel Weiss was one of them. Very good tape. I think he's in round 5. Maybe he slid down some boards because the combine, you expect him to move a little better, faster 40, but, especially for the defensive tackle spot, most important thing here is tape and the potential. What can we work with this guy? What can we do with this guy? Weiss has a lot of upside, but I think he's ready to play now as well. So that's the good thing about a solid 5th round pick here. Another 5th round pick is Joe Giles Harris from Duke, tackling machine. Not the most athletic dude. He's gonna drop to around the feet. He'd probably be a 2nd or 3rd rounder because he's instinctive. He's tackling machine. Doesn't really miss tackles. The instinctive part's the main part, most impressive part there, but. He did have an injury, MCL injury, I believe it was, and, he's not the most athletic dude, so he drops a little bit, but high IQ for the game, like I said, could be as high as 2nd round pick, probably 3rd round pick if it wasn't for the injury, mainly that, but slides a little bit. Really, they just need depth at the linebacker spot at this point. Like I said, Browns are set pretty much with their starters, get a couple guys here and there that can possibly start right away, but they're set. Go get your depth, go compete. Next pick is Saquon Hampton. I already had him taking a safety. We're going to get a little different type of safety here in Saquon Hampton from Rutgers. Demarius Randall is going to be a free agent next year, so we're kind of looking out for the near future. Maybe they would like to have Randall back. Can't rule that out for sure. Obviously, it's definitely a possibility, but maybe the future is Hampton and Thornhill in this scenario. So you get a guy down here for the future. Hampton's got a good upside, and he's starting to rise up some boards. Maybe he goes as early as 5th round. And the last pick for the Browns, I had him taking Jordan Scarlett, running back from Florida. Good sized running back. They don't need a running back at all right now, but they're going to be moving on from Duke Johnson. They try to trade him. It's not part of their future. And then Kareem Hunt's a 1-year deal. He spent it for half the year. You don't know what you're going to get from him going forward. He's a very good running back, obviously, one of the best in the NFL. But it's a 1-year deal. So, my prediction a year from now is it's really just Nick Chubb. And if they draft a guy here, they could re-sign Kareem Hunt. I don't really expect Duke Johnson to be with them. So I think you definitely need a running back for a lot of these picks are for future depth right now, future, because we're planning ahead, looking who we have available, and the Browns put themselves in a situation to do so, which is genius. So a very good offseason for the Browns so far, and they can, even though they don't have a first-round pick, they can make something happen. And because they don't really need a whole bunch, maybe they can package some of these. They have a bunch of 5th-round picks we just went over. Maybe they can package some of those together and move up and get a more impactful player. So that makes sense as well. Or he can go for the depth to look out for the future. Browns are set, though. They're going to be competing this year. We all know that. That's going to do it for this one, though. Plenty more of these. We're going to do every single team in draft order. Lots of NFL draft coverage. As soon as we get a little closer, it's going to be madness. We're going to have lots of content. And then we're going to be live during night 1 for sure. Day 1 for sure of the draft. So that's going to be a lot of fun. 20K subscriber goal. I'm like Danny over here. He can't even say subscriber. So, yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. We got a goal here. Please help us get there. Click the like button, notification button so you know when we go live. All that be much appreciated. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for everyone's support. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.